So, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to challenge one of the best Advanced Wars players in the world at the moment to a match. And under normal circumstances, I wouldn't stand a chance. But this match has one little caveat. I get to cheat. I have map hack. So I will actually see my opponent's units in the fog, whereas he cannot see mine. So this is the stipulation that I proposed to Rip a little while back. I challenged him to a match and I said, hey, can we fight, but I get vision of your units? And he was like, okay. So this is the match that we're fighting. Now, because this is an insane advantage on my end, we did allow Rip to pick a CO tier above me, so he decided to go with Drake. He also got to select the map. So he picked Drake, and I wasn't really surprised by this because global damage is definitely our best friend in a situation like this. He certainly cannot outmaneuver me, but he might be able to overpower me with global damage. And I picked Jess because, of course, Jess is just a lot of fun to play with. So, how is this even done, you may ask? Well, Advanced Wars Web has this function that lets you let your players spectate your matches. You can give them vision in fog games. Turns out you can also do this with your opponent. You can give your opponent vision of your units. Now, I do need to explain how this works, so there will be no confusion. I will be able to see Rip's units in the fog as I play, however, I still need to scout them out. Like, vision is still a thing, it's just that I can see things that are hidden in the fog. If a unit is in a forest, I can't just attack it. I need to put a unit next to it first and then attack it. If a unit is outside my line of sight, I will not be able to initiate an attack against it. So I still need to scout, I still need to have vision, and you'll see this will play a huge part in the match actually. But I will get to see every single unit that Rip builds, I'll get to see his movement, I'll get to see his positions, I'll get to see his walls, so I can pretty much plan perfectly based on what Rip is doing. He cannot do the same to me. So let's see how this goes, shall we? Will I be able to beat one of the best players in the world if I get to cheat? That's the theme of this video. Of course, if you don't know who Rip is, maybe you just clicked on this video. He is like one of the best players in the world right now. I think he's probably the best player in the world. I don't really think there's anyone that can challenge him at the moment. He's got 815 MMR. He's just disgustingly good. He hasn't lost a game in months, I think. So, yeah, we're playing on this map. This was a map selected by him. I don't know how to pronounce this. Verdunois or something. It's a smaller map. I was not surprised to see him pick a smaller map because, of course, the bigger the map, the bigger of an advantage I have in terms of scouting. So this map is probably one of the best ones he could have selected for this challenge. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I say we get this started. So even though I was playing with map hack, I gotta admit, this was a pretty intimidating matchup for me. Again, at the end of the day, I'm still playing Rip, right? So, you know, this is a very unique rule set. I've never quite been in a situation where I'm able to see my opponents in the fog before. But I did decide to open with a recon. Not because I need to scout, but because since I have vision of all of his tanks, I can harass his infantry movements and always leave my recon out of range of his tanks. So I figured a recon opener would probably be pretty good, since again I can see where he's going. I know Rip loves his transports, so I figured, you know, if he does build a transport unit, I can just go harass whatever unit it's transporting. Of course, I don't actually remember if Rip built any transports in this match, but I don't think he did. So I move out with my recon. Of course, this map is a bit weird. It has these like bridges right here and the rivers, which kind of makes infantry movement a little bit difficult. You kind of got to plan ahead. I personally like T-copters on this map a lot. But something tells me Rip is not going to risk a transport when he knows I can see all of his units. So I move out with my recon. And then we just continue the capture phase. Yeah, I actually build a T-copter here. And I do this because, you know, I know Rip can't see it. And I figured, you know, might as well, right? Might as well get as big of a capture advantage early on as I can, since I'll be able to see if he tries to interrupt me, so Rip opens up a tank. Probably pretty smart. I think he sensed that the recon was coming, most likely, since he knew that I could see his movements. And this is also why I like the T-copter. You put it here, and you can boost the unit, and then you can transport the next unit, which I really like to do. So day 8 rolls in, Rip moves out, and I can already see, I mean, of course I can see everything, but now the recon is actually in range of his infantry. And as you can see right here, he moved his tank out here. He builds another tank and a recon, which is smart. So day 7 rolls in. I continue moving my infantry forward. I use the T-Copter to boosts, and then I move out. So you can get a lot of value out of this T-Copter. And one little hidden advantage to being Jess that I really like is if you do this a lot, it's going to run out of fuel. But once Jess gets her power, you refuel it. So you don't have to waste a turn moving it back to the airport to refuel it. It's a small bonus, but one that I really like. I also decided to build an artillery because since I have perfect vision of Rip's units, I'm basically playing standard. And artillery are pretty good in standard, so I figured, why not, right? And because I can see his tank right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can harass his infantry units, knowing that this recon is perfectly safe. Day 7 rolls in, and Rip just ignore. Yeah, he moves out with his other tank, but of course I see that now, so I know that I have to pull my recon back. He builds 3 recons. He really wants vision, so you know he really needs to see what I'm doing. So building 3 recons is probably a smart move, and as you can see right here, I move my tank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I move it exactly out of range. And I move out my artillery as well, followed by a tank. And Rip decides to move out as well with his recons. He's not going to spread them out to get that perfect vision. So he sees where I'm going to attack. Of course, he doesn't know where I'm going to attack, which is a huge advantage for me. So he just really has to scout all corners of the map to see what is coming. But so far, nothing insane going on right now. Both players just kind of moving their units out into the center. I decided to build a medium tank because, again, if Rip tanks up, I'll know immediately. He doesn't know if I can tank up. So I figured I'd try to surprise him with a medium tank. Can sometimes work out. So day 9 rolls in. Rip again moves in his recon. Of course, I can see the recon. I know it's in the wood. So I know what he can see and what he can't see. He builds an anti-air because I guess he's suspecting that I might build a battlecopter just, which is not a bad strategy per se, but now that I see that he has an anti-air, I won't build a copter. And that might be part of his plan too. Besides, it's not bad to have an anti-air for wall breaking purposes anyway. Being able to kill an infantry on a plane with an anti-air is pretty nice. And I build another medium tank. I was actually contemplating maybe building some infantry and saving up for a Neo. So here, Rip moves in with his recon. He sees my artillery. He now knows that it's there. I probably could have done a better job hiding it, honestly. Maybe putting it in this forest without alerting him. But you can see Rip is playing very defensively because he knows that I'll be able to scout everything he does. And he's playing Drake, so I mean, he can absolutely afford to hang back and not do anything. So already here, I am noticing a bit of a mistake with my playstyle right here. Since I should really be focusing on getting this city. So, since I have perfect vision, I can see that he has a lot of units here. So there's no need for me to bunch up a bunch of units. I can just pull back. So instead of balling up my units right here, I probably should have moved them over here and tried to take these 2 cities to get an income lead. Because getting an income lead is pretty much the best thing that I can do in this matchup because he has global damage, I do not. So I really should try to get an income lead. So again, Rip sees this and he interrupts immediately. That's a lucky interrupt. He has 1 comm tower, so that's a 33% chance to 2-shot, and he was able to get the roll, which is pretty good for him. And he builds a Neo tank immediately. And when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, now I need to build a Neo tank. So I need to base skip. You really don't want to be fighting Neo tanks with medium tanks. That's a really bad idea. But here I do recognize that these 2 cities are what I should go for. So I do start to move up. I leave an infantry here just in case it decides to get cheeky and go for this capture. And here I actually base skip Neo tank because, again, you really want to... Just bombers are not that great, and he has an anti-air out anyway. So I figured, you know, why not? Get a Neo tank out to counter his Neo tank. I really should not have let Rip get this property in hindsight, but he has a tank and a recon here. So the right thing that I can do probably now is to attack like right here. Move my entire army and just attack his weak point right here. But you can see he's just playing very defensively, knowing that he doesn't really need to make things happen since he has global damage. So he's playing this beautifully, as one might expect of Rip. So here I decide to go for the city. I kind of want to put... I guess I probably should have put the artillery here, but again, I saw that he has a lot of units right here. But I really did not think that he would attack into this. You know, just look at this formation of units right here. But Rip is like, nah, I'd win. So Rip actually goes in. So he recognizes immediately that it's time to attack. And he comes in with the Neo Tank as well. So here I have to make... So at this point, Rip knows where I'm attacking. He knows the attack is coming here. So he balls his entire force up here. So here I have a choice. I can either pull back or I can attack. I do have the artillery here, which is in a pretty decent position. And I do have a Neo Tank coming. So I was actually feeling pretty confident here. So I decide to brawl. Despite seeing that he has a Neo Tank and everything. Now one thing I probably should have done, and this is a mistake on my end, I should have taken out this recon immediately. The fact that I did not take out this recon... Yeah, I should have moved the medium tank, and I should have killed the recon immediately, killing his vision. That's a really big mistake on my part. Because now he still has perfect vision of my army. He doesn't see the Neo Tank, but if I'd killed the recon immediately, then I think he would have been a lot more hesitant to attack. And I build another Neo Tank as well. So day 14 rolls in. Now, if you look at Rip's power bar, do you expect him to get power this turn? I did not. I was like, nah, he's probably not going to attack me. Wrong, I was. Because Rip decided to go in hard here. Well, not hard. But again, he recognized this. He killed my So, notice something here. He killed my recon. Okay? He killed my recon. Why would he do that? Right? Why would he kill my recon in a game where I have perfect vision? Weird decision, right? Very weird decision from Rip. Like, it's not like I really need the scouting from the recon anyway. Well, he did this, I am very sure, quite deliberately. And you'll see why next turn. Some of you may have figured it out, but Rip is setting up for something very nasty here. So day 15 rolls in, and I'm like, fine, I'm feeling pretty confident right here. Neo Tank on a city. The artillery isn't really guarding it, which is a problem. I kill his tank, I'm like, sure, but now it is, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm like, he's probably not going to attack into this, is he? Spoiler alert. He is going to attack into this. So he moves in with his own recon, gets perfect vision. Ay. He goes hard, and he even sacks a tank. Attacks my Neo Tank. And he perfectly calculates his power this turn. So that he gets a Typhoon. Now, of course, this does damage, which is bad, but that's not the whole reason. I don't know what happened there with the replay viewer gets a little bugged sometimes. He even takes out my artillery. But that's not even the worst part. I have no vision. You have no idea how difficult it was for me to plan this turn out, because I have no vision. Now, I have perfect vision, but I still need actual vision to attack him. For example, I can't see this infantry. I can't attack this infantry. My tanks have 2 vision. My infantry have 1 vision. My medium tank, well, they always have 1 vision. I have no recons. He killed my recon. So not only did he perfectly plan out his power charge to get a Typhoon, it is almost impossible for me to counterattack in this situation. Now, I know I have to pop my overdrive here. And I try my best. I mean, I get a tank, which is nice. But here, I noticed that the only way for this anti-air to reach the battlecopter is to kill this infantry. And for the life of me, I can't figure out a way to scout out this infantry without, like, I guess I can move the 2 HP tank down. But it is so hard for me to actually get anything done when I can't see any of his units. And I take out his recon. So Rip, despite the fact that I'm playing with map hack, has found a way to screw me over using vision. So he's using the rain to his advantage by killing my recon and then making it almost impossible for me to counterattack. And now he's lured me into a situation where I have to keep brawling. And now he's going to start picking off my injured units. Neo Tank rolls in. Now my Neo Tank, or my Medium Tank gets destroyed. Now my Neo Tanks are both out of position. And now he has an artillery. Man, when I saw this, I was just like, man, this guy just... Oh my god, this guy just ain't human, man. This guy just ain't human. So here I decide to pull back and I decide, okay, maybe I should start focusing here instead. But I realize that things are looking really bad right now. I mean, again, keep in mind, I can see both his unit count, his income, and his total army value, despite it being a Fog of War game. And I can see that he's 20k ahead as Drake. There will be a second Typhoon coming. At this point, his global damage is going to start to really rake up the value. So, as Jess, I probably had a small chance where I just needed to kill him quickly before the match got out of hand. At this point, I'm kind of in desperation mode. I decide to move in with my Neo Tank, hoping that maybe he won't go for this kill since he doesn't have vision. But of course, Rip being Rip, he saw it immediately. He goes in, he kills the anti-air, comes in with the battlecopter, attacks. And now he's very close to getting a power. And he even gets this strike. And he comes in, and he even sacks a tank to get... That even lagged the sight. I've never seen that happen before. That's really cool. And he pops the second Typhoon, which absolutely just wrecks my forces. Kills my Neo Tank with an anti-air. Wow, the vision is really glitchy right now. I think the sight is breaking apart a little bit here. And at this point, I'm like, really? Did that just happen? So I pop kind of like a desperation overdrive. But I know it's lost. At this point, there isn't really anything I can do to salvage this. He's just gonna keep getting more global damage value. I play an extra turn mostly just for cope purposes. Really not able to grasp what just happened here. I mean, I'm literally using cheat codes, guys. I'm a cheater, and I'm still losing. So yeah. He asserts his dominance once again. And after this turn, I realize there's really nothing I can do at this point. Boy. That was something, wasn't it? So I gotta admit, I didn't really expect to win this one, but I didn't expect to get beaten in such a spectacular fashion. Looking back on it, I probably could have played this a lot more stealthily, front shifting away from his army, trying to strike where he's not. Instead, I decided to go for a brawl because I didn't think he'd get his power so quickly. But I gotta say, man, like Rip killing my recon and then perfectly getting a Typhoon, messing me up because I lack vision, such a master move, man. This guy's just built different. So thank you, Rip, for accepting the match. Very cool for you to actually like agree to a meme match. I know that that's not something that most pro players have time for. So, but looking forward to seeing where Rip goes next. I'm following all of his games. Maybe someone will dethrone him soon. We'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this meme matchup. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.